What if I told you that a teenage girl with a guitar became one of the most successful musicians in history and built an empire worth billions of dollars? This is Taylor Swift. Today, Taylor Swift is one of the most famous people on the planet. She has broken music records, sold out stadiums across the world, and built one of the most loyal fan bases ever seen. But long before the fame, she was just a young girl growing up in Pennsylvania. Taylor Allison Swift was born on December 13th, 1989. From an early age, she showed a deep love for music and storytelling. While other children were focused on ordinary hobbies, Taylor spent hours writing poems, songs, and performing whenever she had the chance. By the age of 10, she was already singing at local events and competitions. Most people thought it was just a childhood dream. Taylor believed it was her future, and she was willing to do whatever it took to make that dream come true. Taylor's passion for music became impossible to ignore. When she was still very young, her family noticed how serious she was about becoming a singer. She wasn't just singing other people's songs, she was writing her own. At the age of 11, Taylor made several trips to Nashville, Tennessee, the center of country music. She handed out demo recordings and tried to convince music executives to give her a chance. Most of them said no, but rejection didn't stop her. Recognizing her determination, Taylor's family made a huge decision. They moved to Tennessee so she could be closer to the music industry and pursue her dream full-time. The move was a risk. There was no guarantee of success. But Taylor continued writing songs, practicing, and performing whenever possible. Soon, her persistence would finally pay off, and a life-changing opportunity was just around the corner. Everything changed when Taylor caught the attention of music executive Scott Borchetta. He believed she had something special, not just a great voice, but the ability to write songs that connected with people on a personal level. At only 16 years old, Taylor released her debut album, Taylor Swift. The album introduced her to country music fans across America. Songs about friendship, school, love, and heartbreak felt authentic because they came directly from her own experiences. Young listeners especially connected with her music. For the first time, many teenagers felt like a major artist was telling stories that sounded just like their own lives. The album became a success, and Taylor quickly gained a growing fan base. But what happened next would take her career to a completely different level. Her second album was about to turn her into a global star. In 2008, Taylor released her second album, Fearless. The album became a massive success and changed her life forever. Songs like Love Story and You Belong With Me were played everywhere. Fans around the world sang along to every word, and Taylor's popularity exploded. What made her different from many other artists was her songwriting. She wasn't just performing songs written by other people, she was telling her own stories. Listeners felt like they knew her personally. Soon, Fearless became one of the best-selling albums of the year and won multiple awards, including Album of the Year at the Grammy Awards. Taylor was still incredibly young, yet she had already achieved what many musicians spend their entire lives chasing. But she wasn't satisfied. She wanted to become more than a country music star. She wanted to conquer the entire music industry. Over the next few years, Taylor continued releasing successful albums and growing her audience. Then came one of the biggest decisions of her career. Instead of staying in country music, she decided to move toward pop music, a risky choice that could have damaged everything she had built. Many critics questioned the decision, but Taylor believed it was the right move. In 2014, she released 1989, an album that fully embraced pop music. The result was extraordinary. Songs like Shake It Off, Blank Space, and Style became worldwide hits. The album topped charts across the globe and sold millions of copies. Taylor had successfully reinvented herself. Very few artists managed to dominate one genre. Even fewer successfully switched genres and become even bigger. Yet somehow, Taylor Swift had done exactly that. As Taylor's fame continued to grow, so did the challenges that came with it. Every aspect of her life was discussed online, in newspapers, and on television. Her relationships, friendships, and career decisions constantly made headlines. At times, she faced intense criticism and public controversy. Many people expected her career to slow down. Instead, Taylor responded the way she always had, through music. She released new albums that reflected different periods of her life and continued evolving as an artist. One of the things fans admired most was her ability to turn personal experiences into songs that millions of people could relate to. Whether someone was dealing with heartbreak, success, failure, or change, there often seemed to be a Taylor Swift song that captured exactly how they felt. That connection helped her build one of the most dedicated fan communities in the world. Then came one of the most unusual chapters of her career. A dispute over the ownership of her master recordings led Taylor to make a bold decision. Instead of accepting the situation, she began re-recording her older albums. For most artists, such a project would have been nearly impossible. Taylor did it anyway. She released new versions labeled Taylor's Version, giving fans the opportunity to support recordings she owned herself. The strategy became a huge success. Millions of fans streamed and purchased the re-recorded albums, and several of them returned to the top of the charts. The move was widely seen as one of the most powerful business decisions in modern music history. It showed that Taylor wasn't just a talented songwriter and performer. She was also an exceptionally smart businesswoman, and her biggest achievement was still ahead. In 2023, Taylor Swift launched the Eras Tour, a concert tour that quickly became one of the biggest entertainment events in history. The demand for tickets was so high that websites struggled to handle the traffic. Fans traveled across countries and even continents just to attend the show. Each concert lasted for hours and featured songs from different stages of her career. The tour became more than a series of concerts. It became a global cultural phenomenon. Cities experienced economic boosts when Taylor performed there, and news outlets around the world reported on the tour's success. Records were broken almost everywhere. Many experts described it as one of the most successful tours ever organized by a musician. By this point, Taylor Swift was no longer just a singer. She had become one of the most influential figures in modern entertainment. Today, Taylor Swift's influence extends far beyond music. She has inspired millions of people through her songwriting, determination, and ability to reinvent herself. Her success has made her one of the best-selling artists of all time. What makes her story remarkable is not just the number of records she has broken. It's the fact that she built her career step by step. From performing at small local events to selling out stadiums around the world, every stage of her journey required persistence, creativity, and hard work. Many artists become successful for a few years. Very few remain at the top for nearly 2 decades while continuing to grow their audience. Taylor Swift has managed to do exactly that. And because of that, her place in music history is already secure. From a young girl writing songs in her bedroom to one of the most successful entertainers in history, Taylor Swift's journey is a story of ambition, resilience, and reinvention. She faced rejection, criticism, and enormous pressure, but she never stopped moving forward. Instead of letting obstacles define her, she used them as motivation. Today, she has sold millions of albums, broken countless records, and built a fan base that spans the entire world. But perhaps her greatest achievement is proving that powerful storytelling can connect people across generations, cultures, and countries. Whether you're a fan of her music or not, it's impossible to deny her impact on the music industry. And the question remains, will anyone ever be able to match the influence and success that Taylor Swift has achieved in her generation?